Hello, my name is Maria. I'm a student in social work. I'm Aboriginal and I've never voted. I'm pretty much a rookie when it comes to voting, and like a lot of people, I had trouble how to vote or who to vote for. So I'm just sharing a bit about my voting experience and why it's important to vote as a future social worker. The very first thing I learned, and everyone may know this, but I didn't, is that you don't actually vote for a prime minister. I always see the signs around town to vote for Fred Slave or conservative or whatever, and I was always so lost. So after some research, I found out that we were voting for a member of parliament and that the leader of that political party will be the prime minister. I actually went online to settlement.org and there was a guide to voting. Next, I went to a local debate in Chelmsford to get a feel of what it's like. And surprisingly, the candidates will cut each other off and point the finger and be like, you guys did this or aren't doing this. It's very interesting. I wasn't exactly sure who to vote for yet, but this was a good start. Going to the debates is a good idea for people who can't look online at each political party platform, and if you would like to ask a specific question. In this video I'm about to share, a community member asked what they plan to do about the missing and murdered Indigenous women. It was directed to NDP, and their response was, within the first 100 days of being elected, they will launch an inquiry into the missing and murdered Aboriginal women. This is very important to me, not only as a future social worker who could be working with the families affected, but also as an Aboriginal woman.
Within 100 days of being elected governor, there will be an inquiry on the missing Aboriginal women. That's something that we've been asking for a long time, and it's just been going to deaf ears. Can you imagine if all of the missing Aboriginal women were white women? I think we would have had an inquiry for a long time ago. This inquiry is overdue.
One of the main reasons why voting is so important in the field of social work is because a lot of the social work programs rely on government funding, and this funding will most often come from taxes. I know we all don't want to pay taxes, and Stephen Harper is trying to win votes by cutting taxes, but it also takes a lot away from social programming and so much more. You can go online to the Government of Canada website, to the Department of Finance page, and it will show you where it all goes. Here are some pictures I found. As you can see, Canadian Social Transfers supports education, health, and social programming, and so much more. Here we have the Conservatives who want to lower taxes, and Liberals want to increase taxes for the highest 1%, which sounds pretty reasonable, and NDP who also want to increase taxes for the top CEOs, also redirecting the money to combat poverty. I believe that lower taxes keeps the rich rich and the poor poor. There are people in Canada who suffer from mental illness and disease who can't work. There are people who go through unfortunate circumstances all the time. I feel that calling on the richest to contribute a little more is reasonable, and I hope they would think of others before themselves. In the field of social work, we work to enhance the quality of life of families and individuals. This can be done in a variety of ways, such as policy, one-on-one intervention, advocating, research, and more. I believe we strive for equality and to help those who are marginalized. Here are some very interesting points that NDP says they will do, which I feel work well in the field of social work. Sometimes it's hard to help people when it's an issue bigger than one person. For example, the missing and murdered Aboriginal women, violence against women, the lack of resources for Aboriginal people, and so on. All of these sound really good to me and will help those less fortunate. What I really like is the plan to close the educational gap for Aboriginal people. I have two boys who I brought to live with me because I want them to get a better education, and it's unfortunate that we can't get that back home on the reserve. Here are some of the Liberal Party promises and some of the Conservative Party promises. So as you can see, the Liberal Party, which is in the red, makes a lot of promises that are similar to the NDP. What I like about the NDP is how they say within the first 100 days, which makes it seem more of a priority. And as you can see in the conservative section, they promise to invest 11.8 billion to the armed forces. And in the last picture I share, way down on page 116 is when they start to talk about Aboriginal people, and to me that doesn't seem much of a priority, so I guess you can tell where I'm leaning towards. Well, I hope you enjoyed my video. I would have really liked to share a lot more, but this is a lot of work. I really hope I encourage at least one person to vote, and if you're still unsure how to go about it, you can look online at each political party's platform. There's more parties involved in the election right now, but I chose to focus on the ones who are in the top writing, which are the Conservative, Liberal, and NDP. I think it's important to take the time to read their platforms because in those commercials you see on TV about parties can be so misleading. For example, Harper puts down Trudeau for raising taxes, but he only wants to raise taxes for those who make more. Or with universal child tax, they're only trying to change where the rich don't get it because, well, they have enough, don't you think? Well, that's how I interpret it. Anyways, that's it for now. If you're still having trouble, you can check out elections.ca on how you would go about voting because it's different in a lot of areas. You can even do a mail-in ballot. There's still time. Hope you vote on October 19th, or already have.